Hello everybody and welcome to another anxiety busting video. I hope you're doing okay. If any of these videos have helped you, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new ones. I have been putting them on the group and I also put them on the website as well, but just in case, if you subscribe to the channel and then anything that goes on that is of interest to you, then you've got it at hand then. So yeah, today I thought I would do a little video on health anxiety. Health anxiety is a very common type of anxiety that gets talked about on the group quite a lot. So I just thought I'd see if I can give you some little hints and tips that have helped me combat any of mine. So yeah, it's such a wide subject. Again, I could talk for hours on this, and I'm trying to keep all these to sort of like just under 10 minutes or 10 minutes-ish. This is a massive subject, so I'm not going to go too much into the symptoms. There will be a symptom, whether it's headaches, chest pains, arm tingling, arm aches, pressure, numbness, lump in the throat is another common one. I'm just trying to think of the ones that pop up quite a lot. Lump in the throat, I've already done a video on that, but anyway, whatever the symptom is, health anxiety, we tend to obsess over ourselves and our feelings, sensations and symptoms. The problem when we're in an anxious state and all our senses are heightened, we feel everything so much more than normal. And we become obsessed on it. So whatever it may be, whatever the symptom is, we obsess on it. That then creates further fear because, say it's a lump in the throat, we convince ourselves that, you know, have we got throat cancer? If it's a tight chest, have we got heart attack? If it's a headache, are we having a brain hemorrhage? Any pain down the arms? Is it connected to our heart? So we convince ourselves in a big spiral, one after another, what is going on, and we convince ourselves that it's major. You know, this is major. We're seriously ill, and we could possibly die. It's very rarely the case, fortunately. But we'll obsess on this, and we can obsess on this for hours, weeks, months, years, you know, and eventually it takes its toll on us, and it becomes uncontrollable. So what can you do to help this? Well, say for instance the symptom is a headache and you've convinced yourself that you're having a brain hemorrhage or a stroke or whatever. If you talk to somebody that doesn't really understand health anxiety, they're usually going to have a very kind of negative reaction to you of don't be bloody stupid and stuff like this. You know, it's just a headache. Now the funny thing is, when you cure yourself of anxiety, you realise that the bigger picture, these people that didn't understand anxiety were actually right. It's just their approach to it, their reaction to it, that wasn't the most compassionate. But they were right, you know. I can remember a lot of scenarios that upset me deeply at the time, but looking back, the people that upset me deeply were correct. It's the difference between the anxious mind and the non-anxious mind. The non-anxious mind will simply say it's a headache. The anxious mind will say it's a brain tumour. And this is what we've got to try to do for ourselves, but we can't just say, get a grip. Well, we can, and sometimes it does work, you know, but because it's coming from us, not someone else. So sometimes we can just say to ourselves, get a bloody grip, it's just an headache. And it does work, but not always. And the further down the spiral you are, the harder these things are to take effect. You need a systematic way of breaking it up to ease it and eventually cure it. And this way doesn't work for everybody. It worked for me, and I know quite a few people I've helped outside the group, behind the scenes and things like that. It's helped them, you know. But yeah, all I can share with you is my experience. So what I've found is anything, and this is right across the board with any anxieties really, this is how you will find that if you watch quite a few of my videos through the CBT sort of side, this is how I broke down most of my anxieties. And I think I suffered from just every anxiety going. I was in a really bad way. But anyway, so write down, and this is why anybody that I help out of a group, I'll normally always sort of say, have a journal. Get yourself a journal and write everything down, because they're so powerful to go back to. Certainly a daily journal of everything. It's so powerful. It really does help. So yeah, grab a journal and write down what your symptom is. Whatever it may be that's bothering you. So let's stick to it's a headache. So we're going to write down we've got a headache. Okay. Now write down what you recognize your thoughts about that headache are. So I've got a headache and I've got a brain tumor. Okay, that's your possible thought that you're worried about. That's the one that's scaring you, you know. I've got a brain tumor and the good chances are I'm gonna die. Then next to that, in another column, write down all the reasons, and this is from your conscious mind, so not your subconscious mind that's telling you you've got a brain tumor. From your conscious mind, write down all the proper factual reasons that you could have a headache. So, have you been out in the sun all day? If you have, that's a possible reason. So, we've been in the sun. Have you been anxious, stressed, had something on your mind for quite a few hours, days, weeks? If you have, that's another reason you could be having a headache. Have a little check-in with yourself. How are you feeling? Am I feeling a bit tense? Am I feeling a bit like tight? Yeah, that's another reason that I could have a headache. You'll probably end up with quite a few reasons of why you could have a headache. How much have you drank today? Have you drank enough? What have you been eating? Have you just been filling yourself with loads of rubbish? There's so many reasons you could have a headache, and you'll probably find quite a lot of them. Now, you'll end up with one subconscious, and I've got a brain hemorrhage, or I'm going to have a stroke or whatever, and you'll probably end up with quite a lot of conscious facts. That in itself, that exercise is very, very powerful, because all the time you're writing this down, it's going into your brain and actually convincing yourself that, hang on a minute, I've got 9 things here, 9 reasons here why I could have an headache, you know, and as opposed to only one, you know, that I've got a brain tumor. That little exercise in itself is a very powerful exercise. Now, I'm not going to say that is going to cure your health anxiety, but you continue to do that. And the key is that once you've got them facts, every time you recognize that cycle, that thought cycle of, oh, that's me, oh, my headache, oh, my brain tumor. No, it's not a brain tumor. Don't, you know, I've wrote my list down. Go back, read your list. I know what it is. Okay. So, it sounds a bit silly because I broke it down so short. It's quite a large subject, but yeah, you know, it is pretty simple. In a nutshell, it's pretty simple. It's a case of go back to the video, the court case. It's pretty much put everything in the court, put everything in the courtroom. So you've got the situation, you've got the thought, the feelings, the behaviour. Don't go on Google. It's the worst thing you can do. I'm not saying Google is a bad place. Google is a very, very good place, and Google is another important tool to recovery, but at the right time. There's a lot of very good information on Google, but there's also, for the anxious mind, a lot of terrible stuff. Whatever you see, the worst thing on there, you will pick out, and that is what you have got. So if it says brain tumour, you've got a brain tumour. We had a conversation with this on the group actually with a member the other day about the placebo effect, because in actual fact, you can read something on the computer, or somebody can say they're feeling in such a way, and the anxious mind, you will end up feeling that way. You'll convince yourself that you've got that. And it's so powerful, so powerful is the mind, and certainly when it's working against you, it's even more powerful. Actually, another group member at the same time mentioned, when we were on about the placebo effect, NITs. Brilliant example. It affects everybody, I think. If somebody mentions NITs to you, or, oh, my child's had NITs or anything, immediately you start scratching, and it's unbelievable. The mind is so powerful. And at the moment, it's not on your side, and this is what you've got to do. You've got to get it onto your side by giving it facts. So yeah, any questions, if there's anything I can help with, any parts of that you know, like I say, I've broke this down into nearly 12 minutes, you know. It's hard, but I don't think these hour-long videos that you see work anyway, because for one, nobody's got an hour to sit there watching a video about health anxiety, and while you're suffering with anxiety, it's very hard to concentrate for that long. So that's why I'm trying to make these little snippets, little hints, tips, things that you can do to help yourself along. And this is one, and this is quite a powerful one. You know, if you've got a book in front of you where you can go, and another thing, in a week's time, if you have that headache again, you can go back. You can go back. I've had this before. You know, draw a little picture, put where the headache was, wherever it is, ring round your head, tension, temples, face, where, draw a little image, where was the pain, and you can go back. Oh, I've had this before. I'm still here, I'm still alive. No, I'm fine, you know, it was just, oh, I've not drunk enough again. Just do this, honestly. Do this. Get yourself a little journal and fill it out for your anxiety. It's so powerful, and it'll help you so much in the long term. That's it, 13 minutes, so I'm going to get off your case. Be kind to yourselves, look after yourselves, give yourself lots of self-love. You're fighting this and you're doing great. Until next time, if anything helps you, please subscribe to the channel, like it, click that fancy bell thing so you don't miss any other videos. Put a comment on the group or on this if it's helped you, and if there's anything else that I can cover for you, or private message me, as quite a few of you have. So yeah, till next time, see you later, bye.